today's world. Based on facts, born of rationality, common sense, and logic, providing context on today's events. This is American Perspective with Rick Thomas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Perspective. It is Friday. Yes, it is the Friday after my first week back. I am a happy camper because, of course, it's the end of my regular work week. Thank goodness. Oh, it's been a heck of a week. Let's just put it that way. Heck of a week. All right. I don't know why that's interesting. I got some things kind of playing around here in the background, and I don't know why, but anyway. Oh, G is hanging out on the couch again, all by his lonesome. No, he's not. He's with Ms. T. But he's lurking. You don't want to talk in the chat. Calling you out, G. Knock, knock, knocking on G's door. All right, it's Friday. Let's get things kicked off. Tonight we have the wonderful and beautiful, well, everybody's beautiful in comparison to me. But anyway, the wonderful and the beautiful Bam. That's right, Bam is up for tonight's pledge. So, if you are of mine, please stand, remove your hat if you're wearing one like me. Place your hand over your heart and follow along with Bam as she recites the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and I thank Bam for that wonderful rendition of the pledge. If you would like to hear your rendition of the pledge play here on the program, played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself performing the pledge in your style. Take that audio file, video file, whatever kind of file, attach it to an email. Send it off to me. Send it to fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. And I, of course, will get you into the rotation. I'm at 20. I'd like to get 26 by the end of 2026. So if you haven't sent one in yet, I'd appreciate it. You can send it in. And hey, I've got it from a heavenly host, the good old Buddy Weiser. He constantly said that if you use your phone, you can, if you use your phone to record the audio, you can then use the share option, the S-H-A-R-E option, the share option, and you will be able to send it via the email fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. So somebody's got to juggle or poke or whatever Jarhead 13 to get his in. And Fernando, I see you in the chat every once in a while. You should probably get yours in as well. Come on, give me my Okay. Sorry about that. It's the internet connection. The connection dropped. I'm here. I'm coming back. Just relax. It happens every once in a while, and I don't know why. I'm still trying to figure that out. But anyway, so there we go. I'm back. Anyway. Happened early this time. Most of the time, it's like right in the middle of the show. This time, it stopped. It hit in the beginning monologue. Yeah, interesting. Anyway. All right, folks, let me just make sure that everything is running okay everywhere else. Yeah, okay, so that's there, and yeah, that one's running. This one died out. That's not very nice. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so it looks like X does not handle these little bumps very well. So anyway, all right. Well, we'll just we'll just continue on. No big deal. All right. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and I give people heart failure every time because some people live in black holes. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about our let's go ahead and talk about our headline sponsor. Here we go. Man, this show is already off the rails. There we go. We're off the rails again. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about our headline sponsors. Tonight's headline sponsor is, of course, theflagshirt.com. I'm wearing the Liberty Bell / Lincoln We the People men's cotton polo of theirs. You can go and check them out. Go on to The Flag Shirt. That's all one word, theflagshirt.com. And take a look at all of their fantastic styles. They are promoting America's 250th anniversary this year, celebrating a long line or a legacy of freedom. And yeah, what you got to do is you got to head on over there and check out all of their styles. But they got a nice little link right there, right where my head is. It says explore the collection. You click on that and you can get the collection of what they have. And they're adding as times. But yeah, it's again, it's America's 250. Why not have a memorabilia from America's 250th birthday, 1776 to 2026? That's what we need to do for sure. And so head on over to The Flag Shirt. Check out all of their men's, women's, America 250, made in the USA, kids, accessories, all in the fantastic red, white, and blue. And you can get all of that done. And hey, if you order $75 or more of free you'll get free shipping. $75 or more of their product will get you free shipping. But I know not everybody can do the $75 or more of the free shipping. And so I will help you out. If you go to flagshirt.americanperspective.online, that's flagshirt.americanperspective.online, you will be presented with a coupon code. You can copy and paste that coupon code into the promo code box at checkout at theflagshirt.com, and you will gain $5 off your order. So once again, go to flagshirt.americanperspective.online, get promoted or get presented with that coupon code, copy and paste that coupon code into the promo code box at checkout at theflagshirt.com and get $5 off your order on American Perspective. Head on over to theflagshirt.com, get yourself patriotized. All right. Here we go again. Same old again. Oh, this is part of the reason why Bongino has that 72-hour rule. And I try to hold on to it, often. The narrative that the Democrats hit you with, it tends to not be true. And there's a couple of things on this. So we went through that whole video last night, 2 videos. I took 2 separate angles of the video of the Minnesota ICE incident, the unfortunate killing of that woman But, again, she decided to break the law in first, obstruct the ICE agents doing their jobs, and then decided to take her vehicle and turn it into an assault weapon. Well, now we have some other videos that are starting to shed new light on the situation. This first one comes from, believe it or not, CNN. And it's actually from a house. It looks like a house ring camera, security camera, something like that. Well, CNN actually, believe it or not, I actually think they kind of sort of got this right. Anyway, let's head on over there and let's take a listen to what CNN says about it.
As the vehicle passes, you can see the dark-colored SUV driven by Renee Nicole Good. That's on the right there in the back. The surveillance video taken by a home nearby. Agents can be seen milling about near the vehicle, then converging on it. And then you see right there the SUV begins to move, and that's when the shots are fired.
Yeah, so take a look at this. The officer who is in the front, people are like, hey, he was just standing there. He actually was.
Now, prior to this, the video shows the SUV had been stationary and sideways across.
Sorry, he wasn't just standing. He was actually crossing in front of the vehicle at the time. So, anyway, here, I'm going to let them continue with it.
The road like that for about 3 minutes. The reason for that is unclear.
CNN has obtained some new video. Again, it's grainy and distant, but it shows 4 full minutes leading up to the shooting. It shows Renee Good's maroon Honda Pilot entering from the right there. Then 20 seconds later, someone gets out on the passenger side. We don't know who or why this person leaves the car. We then see her turn and pull perpendicular across the street, seeming to block the way. But as you see here, leaving room for vehicles to pass by her on either side. Finally, there is this new angle of the federal officer who shot her. He arrived.
Okay. So now, as you notice, she purposely put herself in the way. Okay? So that's what CNN is telling you. She purposely put it in the way. Okay? She purposely put it in the way. Now, like CNN points out here, she pulls up, she drops off her wife, we now know, drops off her wife so that her wife can start filming. Yeah. Well, that's when, things start going awry. Now, there's even more new footage. This footage is actually a little... it's coming from the ICE agent himself. Yes. It's on... it's hat tip to Alpha News for posting this one. Oh, wrong. Hold on. Stand by, the video graphic. Guys, gotta catch up, gentlemen. Here it is, the Alpha News. Alpha News. And this will just eliminate a shadow of a doubt as to whether or not the officer, A, got hit, and B, whether or not she was pointing at him or trying to drive away. All you leftist lunatics, read this or watch this and weep because you're morons. Here we go.
Change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car. Whoa!
Okay. So for those of you who were on the audio portion of the program, let me explain what is happening when you hear. So first of all, the ICE agent, because this is a ICE agent who is filming this with his cell phone. Okay. And he comes around, he walks around the front of the car, he walks around the entire car, he gets the license plate. You can hear the wife yapping at him in the background, and she's talking about how, blah blah blah. We don't change our plates every day, whatever it was. And then of course she's sitting there and she's like talking about, why don't you uncover your face, go and get some lunch, big boy, that kind of thing. Then it all happens because the ICE agent actually goes around the car and then comes around the front of the car again. And as he comes around the front of the car, the one holding the camera, as he comes around the front of the car, the wife, who's attempting to get in the passenger side, which, by the way, they have drone video or some kind of video from up above where you see there's a freeze frame that's running around on the interwebs where the passenger side door is actually open. And this is prior to her moving off. Well, she backs up, and as she backs up, you can see in this video that the car actually goes straight at him. The ICE agent doing the videotape. You can't see this because the phone gets flipped out and pointed at the ground, but you hear the car impact him. You hear him struggle. You hear the shots go off, and then you hear the car crash at the very end. Folks, there is no doubt in anybody's mind now, there shouldn't be, because, and I'll tell you, even the leftist lunatics and the media on the socials, man, they took off. None of them are even commenting now that this has come out. And in fact, this same kind of videotape and the support of the ICE officers, I got to tell you, the Chicago Police Department Chief Larry Snelling has some choice words about all of this. And you should take a listen to that. Let's take a listen to this. Oh, here we go again. Not getting the right thing up. All right. Take a listen to this.
Federal agents, ICE, HSI, are officers. They are agents of law enforcement. If you box them in with vehicles, it is reasonable for them to believe that they are being ambushed and that this could end in a deadly situation. And it's reasonable for them to use force based on those conditions. Do not box in any law enforcement officer. You are breaking the law when you do that. And you are putting yourself in danger. Following law enforcement agents around. The question is why? What do you plan on doing? It's also reasonable for them to believe that you're eventually going to do harm to them. If you ram any vehicle, especially that one that contains law enforcement agents, and that's any law enforcement, local, state, federal, county, and you do this intentionally, this is considered deadly force. Deadly force is anything that can cause great bodily harm or death. When you plow into a vehicle contains law enforcement agents, you're using deadly force.
So, there you go, from Larry Snelling, the Chicago Police Department Superintendent. Yeah. Again, folks, I don't know what to tell you. And these leftist lunatics and Democrat dumbasses in our Congress, I mean, everybody from Pramila Jayapal, Maisie Hirono, Dan Goldman, Chris Murphy, they're all like jumping in on the bandwagon. Every single one of them jumping in on the bandwagon, trying to tell everybody, this person, she was just a simple housewife, mother. You know, she's going around and she was just turning around in the road and these agents shot her down for no reason. Yeah. Yep. That is actually entirely incorrect. And in fact, it's now been pulled out that this woman was trained. She joined a group called Ice Watch. They trained her, supposedly, on things to do and not to do. Her child, her 6-year-old that she talks about, goes to a school that is literally teaching social justice warrior stuff at 6 years old. Seriously. What the hell? In fact, the article, by the way, the article that has the co-founder Susan Oppenheim's quote saying that, that the school itself had been unabashedly dedicated to social justice education. I can just imagine what they talked about with the George Floyd incident. You know, the guy that died from a fentanyl overdose, and a police officer by the name of Derek Chauvin took the fall. Yeah. Anyway, I can just imagine this. Now, she was obviously out there. She was out there doing this on purpose. And even people are saying she was an anti-ICE warrior. This is how she's characterized. Now, here's the thing, is that basically Good apparently left the United States when Donald Trump won the 2024 presidential election, spent several months up in Canada, and then they decided to return. They chose, according to reports, they chose Minneapolis specifically because the city declared itself a sanctuary city that limits local cooperation with federal immigration enforcement. That was their choice. That was their choice. Okay? She moved there specifically for this. They put their child, the 6-year-old son, into a woke charter school specifically because it puts social justice first and prioritizes involving kids in political and social activism. This is from multiple local sources. A mother who attends the same school says, quote, she was a warrior. She died doing what was right. Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't. She wasn't doing what was right. She was breaking the law, and she paid, unfortunately, with her life. But don't sit there and take the entire case and like, hey, you know what? Don't sit here and take the entire case, making this thing look like she was some sort of a hero. This is not, no, the left, just like what they did with George Floyd. George Floyd was no hero. No hero whatsoever. Do not accept this person being memorialized, put up on a pedestal and everything else. She made a stupid choice. Her wife actually even is on tape saying, drive, drive, drive in that the very end, right before she takes off, saying drive, drive, drive. And also, too, her wife is quoted as saying later, I'm the one who got her killed. Well, no kidding. You told her to drive. You didn't tell her to stay where she was and get arrested. Folks, this is why you wait for a little bit of time before you make comments, before you jump on the bandwagon. Okay? This is why you need to have a cooler head and be an objective observer. Because even now, I go and I throw up videos clearly showing, like my last night's show, clearly showing that she was completely in the wrong, and none of these idiots are really accepting it. The facts of the case are these, and they are undisputed. She was breaking the law before it. Then she decided to turn her car into an assault weapon, and she paid for her life with it. But by the way, using your vehicles as assault weapons like this isn't the only one. And in fact, it's been happening all too often. Well, folks, get ready, because I've got a Scott Jennings truth bomb coming up here right after the break. Let's talk about coffee, morning coffee. Man, I got to tell you, I have a 16-ounce mug that I drink my coffee out of every single morning, and I love it. I love it. If you still haven't tried 1775 coffee, now is your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped. There's only a limited number of units available. Wow, I couldn't think of the word unit. That was weird. Anyway, in each unit, you're going to be getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash. All of these coffees are single origin, small batch, toxin-free, and mold-free. Plus, you'll also be getting a gold spoon clip. This is my personal favorite because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. A frother that is strong enough to stir up not only your coffee, but also your mother-in-law's opinions. Let's be honest, that's not that hard. Either one of them, actually. And you'll also be receiving a black 1775 tumbler. It's $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for just the low, low price of $99. This is for the ones that have been watching 1775 Coffee blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com. That's 1775coffee, altogether, all one word, .com /studio, STUDIO. Grab your starter kit before they are gone. Go to 1775coffee.com /studio, STUDIO, and grab your starter kit before they are gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. Go to 1775coffee.com /studio, STUDIO. Grab your starter kit today. And don't forget, 1775, at least according to G here, 1775 Coffee is the clean wake-up that poses the question, was it over when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor? I think not. Go to 1775coffee.com /studio and get your starter kit before they're gone. All right. All right, well, let's get to that Scott Jennings truth bomb, because I got to tell you, this one's another one. It's a serious one, okay? It's a serious one, but it is definitely one that needs to be said. So let's take a listen to Scott Jennings as he drops this truth bomb.
Well, I agree with you, Jonathan. I think there's some details we don't know yet, and we'll have to learn more about it. What strikes me is, first of all, it's extremely sad and unfortunate. The political fighting and disagreements aside, it's terrible. You don't want people to die in law enforcement situations or otherwise. But it strikes me that we are undergoing an epidemic of political vigilantism right now. Why are people showing up in vehicles, in convoys, not just in Minneapolis, but all over the country in an effort to obstruct lawful federal law enforcement activities. This is not an isolated incident. We have had hundreds of car rammings against ICE agents all over the country. According to DHS, this lady in this car today, along with other vehicles, had been tracking ICE agents around. Why are people believing that they can drive their car into a federal law enforcement situation and that is an appropriate thing to do? I understand they don't like the fact that these agents are enforcing existing immigration law, but that's not how we change laws in this country. If you don't like a law, you talk to the politicians. You don't drive your car into the middle of a building or a law enforcement situation that's being occupied by the people who are simply there to enforce the law. If I don't like how much the IRS is charging me in taxes, I don't drive my car into the Treasury Department, try to run somebody over. I call my congressman. Political vigilantism is being encouraged by Democratic officials like the Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota, Peggy Flanagan, who earlier this year told people to, quote, put your bodies on the line, and Tim Walz calling these guys Gestapo all year. What do you think happens when you radicalize a base of people about this? It does strike me.
Well, folks, I didn't light this off beforehand, but this is a Scott Jennings truth bomb. That's right, Scott Jennings truth bomb right there. I don't know how many times these guys need to understand, or these guys and gals, these leftist lunatics need to understand, man. They are not to block. Look, peaceful protesting is allowed. Go ahead and protest. Get your signs. Walk on the sidewalk. Don't block anybody off. Don't block the streets off. Get your signs. Peacefully protest. Argue. Whatever. Debate. You know, put it up online, throw it up on a video or whatever. Go for that. But to sit there and actively attempt to block federal agents from doing their job, okay, they, this is wrong. This is entirely wrong. And you guys shouldn't do that. By the way, the Southside Family Charter School, I mentioned this, so this is what the school says on its website. The Southside Family Charter School is a small K-5 school that meets the needs of a culturally and ethnically diverse population by engaging children in critical thinking and problem solving. No, they don't. And involving children in political and social activism. Then it continues and says, encouraging creative expression, offering a wide range of electives, and advocating for children and families. I got a dumb question. Okay? Whose child from kindergarten through 5th grade gave a crap about political and social activism? Hell, you were lucky if all I cared about was riding my frickin' bike. I didn't have any idea what was going on when I was that young. What the hell? I mean, seriously, what the hell? Why would you be? There is absolutely, let kids be kids. Let them become the adults later. Okay? This is so, that man, if you have your child in that school, yeah, you need to get it. You need to get that child out of there. That's just so bad. Well, Scott Jennings, getting back to Scott Jennings talking about the vehicle ramming incidences. Well, guess what? He said there was over 100. Yeah, there's more than 100 such rammings, such incidences. So you have several pictures and stories that are all out on the interwebs, okay, that are all about this stuff. So there's an incident where immigration officers were injured in Minnesota after a Cuban illegal alien rammed ICE vehicles and struck agents during a violent encounter on the Sunday. Well, this was a Sunday, I don't know, back in I don't see. This is a story back in the day, I guess, or earlier. It's still got snow on the ground, so it could have been most recent. Apparently, this guy was an illegal alien from Cuba, and ICE officers identified him, conducted a lawful traffic stop on December 21st. When officers ordered him to roll down his window, he allegedly refused, prompting warnings that they would break it if he continued to disobey lawful commands. Instead, he drove off and allegedly struck one of the officers while attempting to flee. How does that sound? There's another one. Morrisville on October 5th. Oh, sorry. Yeah, a man in Morrisville was also arrested for a similar crime. Don't know where that is. Then you have October 5th, an armed woman being arrested after ramming agents in the Chicago area. You remember that. She actually, by the way, was released by the judge. Dumbasses. In Los Angeles, a man is now facing prison time after ramming his vehicle into federal law enforcement agents. The man drove his car into the gate of an FBI facility in Pittsburgh back in September. Back in November, you also have ICE and CBP agents were facing an unprecedented surge in vehicle ramming attacks. In a statement, the DHS wrote, "We are seeing the results of the left's constant demonization of the men and women of law enforcement. Dangerous criminals, whether they be illegal aliens or U.S. citizens, are turning their vehicles into weapons to attack ICE and CBP." Folks, I mean, seriously, there were, since January 20th, and this was, last year when they put out this statement, I don't know when it was, but there were 71 vehicular attacks against CBP, that's Customs and Border Protection, since January 20th compared to 45 assaults for that same period in 2024. That was a 58% increase. There have been 28 vehicular attacks against ICE since January 20th. This was last year, compared to 2 in the same period of 2024. There's other incidents, like one in November 13th. Criminal illegal alien from El Salvador with pending criminal charges for second-degree assault intentionally rammed his car into an ICE vehicle and then fled the scene. November 8th, while conducting enforcement operations in Chicago, Border Patrol faced 4 different vehicle ramming attacks in just one day. October 22nd, Border Patrol agents faced numerous attacks throughout Chicago. There were 3 different vehicle attacks against law enforcement. October 14th, during an immigration enforcement operation in Chicago, an illegal alien rammed CBP vehicles with his own and attempted to flee. The driver and his passenger, both illegal aliens from Venezuela, were arrested for assault on a federal agent and accessory to assault, respectively. October 2nd, ICE officers were targeted in 2 different vehicle assaults in Illinois on the same day. One in Bensenville, and the other in Norwich. Both suspects were criminal illegal aliens who were arrested. Now, this is all of this is because the buttheads, yes, I'm calling them the buttheads in the Democrat Party and their rhetoric are causing this problem. They are causing all of this, folks. Every single one, and it doesn't end there. Oh, the Democrats are now calling to defund ICE, impeach Kristi Noem because of this Minneapolis shooting where the officer was just defending himself. Yeah, they're trying to get rid of the law enforcement of our existing and long-standing immigration law. Now, unfortunately, again, we had another incident. This one in Oregon. This had to deal with a violent Venezuelan gang member. And I've lost my closed captioning stuff. There we go. This had to deal with a violent Venezuelan gang member who basically, and it was another ramming incident. It was another ramming incident where ICE had to shoot a driver in self-defense. This time, the driver was a Venezuelan member of the Tren de Aragua gang. You want to know where that guy came from? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He came from being released in the U.S. by the Biden admin. Yep. Yep. Oh, folks, this is what is going on. The Democrats have zero respect for the Constitution, for law enforcement, for anything that has to deal with enforcing our laws. Not a single thing. By the way, that Tren de Aragua member who entered the U.S. illegally was entered in 2022. He was released by the Biden administration. He's been busted for drunk driving, unauthorized use of a vehicle, and has a final order of removal. So he's not even supposed to be here. He already has an order of removal. He needs to get deported immediately. ICE goes to go pick him up, and what does he do? He attacks them with his car. Yeah. And by the way, that same guy allegedly played an active role in a Tren de Aragua prostitution ring. That's the person that was with him. Yeah. Folks, this is ridiculous. I'm telling you. Do not vote Democrat, period. Don't vote Democrat. They don't care. They care about illegal aliens over Americans. They care about nothing when it comes to laws, unless, of course, those laws are going to persecute or prosecute, whichever way you want to think of it. Conservatives, those are the only ones. That's all they care about. Now, what do you expect in Minnesota when your AG, your Attorney General of Minnesota, is also on the take? Yeah. So you know that the fraud that was found in Minnesota? Yeah. Well, apparently there's a new report out that Keith Ellison, who's the AG of Minnesota, Ellison took, well, first of all, he met with the convicted, some of the Somali fraudsters, not the convicted ones, but some of them, donated money. They donated money to his campaign. Now, keep in mind, he later returned the donations after the group itself was indicted. But he's caught on tape with a meeting with these folks. Fox News broke it. Let's go over to Fox News really quick. And let's take a listen to Alexis McAdams as she tells us all about it.
The investigation into these fraud allegations is far from over, but sources are telling Fox again this morning that now that Governor Tim Walz says he's not going to run for re-election, the feds are also shifting their focus to the state's Attorney General, Keith Ellison. Why? Because a newly obtained clip by Fox that we just got yesterday, that was from 2021, has Ellison meeting in this recording with a group of people who are asking for his help. The problem is those people, you guys, were then just days later arrested for one of the biggest fraud scandals in the state. Watch.
The only way we can protect what we have is by inserting ourselves into the political arena, putting our votes where it needs to be, but most importantly, putting our dollars in the right place and supporting candidates that will fight to protect our interests.
That's right.
You can only protect our interests when we have your back, and you don't have to worry about who's behind you.
So now officials are saying, why was Ellison meeting with this group? help them get more federal funding, offering votes and campaign donations for support. So the audio clip's part of an ongoing investigation into the widespread fraud across the state. Ellison's office sharing an op-ed that he wrote in the local paper. He said, in part, I took a meeting in good faith with people I didn't know, and some turned out to have done bad things. I did nothing for them and took nothing from them. But documents obtained by the Center for the American Experiment say some of those non-convicted Somali fraudsters that he met with donated money to Ellison's campaign after that meeting. It's money, though, he did later give back once this group was indicted, according to reports. So there's just so many levels of this fraud that's been going on for years, according to officials. Fox obtained that full, nearly 1 hour-long clip of the meeting with the lawyer of Amy Bach. For people wondering who that is there on your screen, she's the Minnesota woman who was one of many convicted last year in that $250 million Feeding Our Future scam. That's how this all started with Bach. She's behind bars, though, but her legal team tells me, where's the accountability for the governor and the attorney general? He said the state let the fraud happen. Do you think some of these politicians should be held accountable?
I would like to see someone in the state. I don't care whether it's the governor. I don't care whether it's the attorney general.
Yeah, the governor or the attorney general. Oh, well, that's heating up quite well. And in fact, by the way, that audio clip apparently is like over an hour. They only took that one little piece, but apparently it was over an hour long. And there's some quotes that he talks about Here's some of the more salient points. At almost 9 minutes in, Ellison says he's in the middle of the battle with the agencies right now. Then, shortly after that, he says, Tim Walz agrees with me that this piddly, stupid stuff running small people out of business is terrible. Really? Then he says a little bit later, agrees with the proposition that there is a state agency discrimination. There is state agency discrimination against East African businesses. Yeah. And then, of course, he tells the audience, of course, I'm here to help. And then he says, let's go fight these people. So he's siding with the Somali fraudsters to fight against his own state and the federal government to protect the fraudsters. And by the way, this recording was leaked by that lawyer who you heard, Kenneth Udoybach, whatever his name is, who is the attorney for Amy Bach, who was the one of many convicted as part of the $250 million Feeding Our Future scam. She was the, quote, ringleader. Yeah. Now, in a April 2025 op-ed for the Minnesota Star Tribune, Ellison denied any wrongdoing, saying what we heard, which was, I took a meeting in good faith with people I didn't know. Yeah. Now he is doubling down, claiming that the fraud itself is not a serious thing. It's merely a political matter. Take a listen as soon as I can get it up here on the screen.
Not that fraud is not a problem. Of course it is a problem. And of course we have to prosecute it. And of course we have been prosecuting it. But
have you done enough, General, to do so? I mean, one of the claims is that there has been hundreds of millions of dollars, but now there are some estimates that there could be $9 billion or more. And Noam was just suggesting they took hundreds of people off the street who were involved in fraud. Are you confident your office has done enough?
Of course, we've done enough, and we're doing more every single day. This is a political matter. This is not a serious thing. And I tell you,
yeah, this is a political matter and not a serious thing. I would say that $9 billion potentially being scammed from the American federal taxpayers. Oh yeah, that's a serious problem. That's a serious problem. So, yeah. I've got to tell you, man, if you're voting Democrat now, you are really a complete, utter, stupid moron. That is what I call you. All right, well, let's take a quick break from the American side of the world and let's head on over to the Middle East. Apparently, folks, Iranian protests are growing. These protests have been sparked by economic woes. And they started off in just Tehran, but now they seem to have broken out nationwide. So this protest is representing the first test of whether the Iranian public could be swayed by Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, whose fatally ill father fled Iran just before the country's 1979 Islamic Revolution. Now, demonstrations have included cries in support of the Shah, something that could bring a death sentence in the past, but now underlines the anger fueling the protests that began over Iran's ailing economy. So, Thursday, which is yesterday, saw a continuation of the demonstrations that popped up in cities and rural towns across Iran on Wednesday. More markets and bazaars shut down in support of the protesters. So far, violence around the demonstrations have killed at least 41 people, while more than 2,270 others have been detained. Yeah. Let's see. So this is based off of the U.S.-based human rights activists news agency. The growth of the protests increases the pressure on Iran's civilian government and its supreme leader, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Cloudflare, which is an internet firm, and the advocacy group NetBlocks reported the internet outage, both attributing it to the Iranian government interference. So basically, the Iranian government shut down the internet to try and stop the information from these protests to getting out to the rest of the world. And attempting to dial landlines and mobile phones from Dubai into Iran could not be connected. So, by the way, such outages in the past have been followed by intense government crackdowns. Meanwhile, the protests themselves have remained broadly leaderless. Remains unclear as to how Pahlavi's call will affect demonstrations moving forward. So Nate Swanson of the Washington-based Atlantic Council, who studies Iran, wrote, "The lack of a viable alternative has undermined past protests in Iran. There may be 1,000 Iranian dissident activists who, given a chance, could emerge as respected statesmen, as labor leader Lech Walesa did in Poland at the end of the Cold War." I know I mincemeated that word, but anyway. He continues and says, but so far, the Iranian security apparatus has arrested, persecuted, and exiled all of the country's potential transformational leaders. Here's the thing, folks. Here's the thing. These dumbasses, okay, here in the U.S. who sit here and talk about, oh, we've got an authoritarian government. No. The authoritarian government isn't even close. The American government is not even close. Donald Trump is not even close to being authoritarian. This in Iran is authoritarian. Oh, anyway. Yeah. Well, as a part of those protests, the protesters went and renamed Tehran Street after Trump. Yeah. And after they changed this, please don't let them kill us, they say, after the crackdown. So, yeah. Here is there's numerous videos that have come out about this changing of the name, but here's one. Somebody changing the sign and putting up the Trump sign. There it is. Going up now, of course, it's in Sanskrit. I mean, it's in, whatever their language is over there, Pashto or Farsi or whatever it is. But yeah, there you go. changing the name to Trump. Trump is doing what is right for America. So, yeah. All right. In the final minutes here, I do have to make a comment. I normally don't want to get involved, honestly, with these leftist lunatics and right-leaning lunatics that have joined in for some reason. But I'm sorry. If you're a Megyn Kelly fan, you seriously, in my personal opinion, you should seriously reconsider. Apparently, Megyn Kelly joined in. She's joining in with Tucker Carlson. She's joining in with Candace Owens. She endorses Candace Owens' investigation, whatever the hell that means. And she calls the Groyper idiot Nick Fuentes very smart. I have no idea what the hell Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Nick Fuentes are drinking. I have no idea. Because apparently Candace Owens, I guess, has been running around and saying things like that Israel took out Charlie Kirk. What the hell? Why? Why? I mean, Israel would have no reason to take out Charlie Kirk. And by the way, I've heard, and I don't listen to Candace Owens. I don't listen to Megyn Kelly. I don't listen to Tucker Carlson. I don't listen to them because I don't find them very worthwhile, entertaining, or even accurate. Okay? I really don't. I don't find any of them accurate. I don't find Steve Bannon accurate. Steve Bannon in his war room. I mean, yes, he was part of an administration in the past. Okay, great. But that doesn't bring any trust in my mind to what's going on. I disagree with some of the ones that I listen to on occasion, like Ben Shapiro, but I trust that what he is saying because it's relatively verified. I don't want to jump into these kinds of arguments, but all I got to tell you is the ones that I trust, that I go to, Dan Bongino, Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro. Those are my top three. And now that Dan Bongino's back, I'm going to be back listening to him too. I don't understand this. What the hell is wrong with these people? They were decent people at one point. I mean, I don't know. It's just... And anybody calling Nick Fuentes, which Nick Fuentes, honestly, is a... Hell, half the time I don't even know what he is. But, up until Charlie Kirk got shot, I didn't even know who Nick Fuentes was. I didn't even know who he was. And even now, I still don't really know who he is, other than the fact that he's like some kind of a, I don't know, white supremacy pushing, Nazi loving alt-right winger. Yeah. I don't want to get involved in any of this, but this is ridiculous. And I used to think that I would have thought that Megyn Kelly was a decent person, at least from the clips that I had seen of her, that she was a halfway intelligent person and wouldn't get involved with this. But I'm telling you, these people they're gone. I don't know what happened. I don't know that did they get like involved in their freaking lives and they decided that, hey, I'm now big enough that I can do this? I mean, seriously. Now, I do have one thing that I have to say. I've been trying to reach out to Mark Levin. Mark Levin is going to start what he says is his own podcast. I believe it's called Liberty Voice. But I've been trying to reach Mark Levin. I don't have an email for him or anything else. The only place that I know that he shows up is either GETTR or X. And I've been trying to reach out to him, and I've been telling him, hey, you know what you need to do? You don't like these guys? Fine. Don't like them. But don't Don't underestimate your power to be able to bring along shows that you do think are doing the job. He talks about Dan Bongino all the time. He does talk, but I think that a lot of these podcasters and a lot of these people who are really, really big would be doing the movement an incredible service by finding small shows. And yes, I am a part of that. Finding small shows and helping to promote them. Let's cover and smother these idiots who are out here doing all of this, talking all this smack and everything else. Let's just cover them up. Cover them up with the truth, with facts, with evidence, with reality, so that these people lose their audiences. That's the only way to get rid of them, is to take their audiences away by proving that there are much better shows, much better people who are out here doing the job, much more accurate people out here doing the job. That's what needs to happen. And I've been trying to reach Mark Levin. Again, I haven't been able to find a good email address for him, and I've been trying to hit him up on X. So, anyway, that's my take. You can like it, you can leave it. But I'm certainly not going to give Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Megyn Kelly, Steve Bannon, any of those people who are so far off the reservation, it's not even funny. Anyway, all right, I've had enough. That's it for me for this evening. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, head on over to rumble.com, get yourself an account. It is free. And once you are signed up and signed in, okay, once you are signed up and signed in, make sure that you search up the American Perspective channel and hit that green follow button to get notified every time I go live. Also, too, don't forget to hit those thumbs up, thumbs downs, and, of course, the thumb sideways for, those 3 Chevys that are out there. We will see you tomorrow night, 1 hour later, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on American Perspective. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night.